guys? Welcome back. Or if you're new, welcome. If you haven't seen any of my reviews before, I have made it back. As promised, I have another review for you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. And this is not primarily a channel for that. I actually do other stuff. But I did start documenting kind of my journey with vaping when it started a couple of years back. And I told you guys that every now and then I would review and update you guys on what I was doing and how that was going, okay? I kind of want to be careful what I say. You know, we have to be really careful here on YouTube as creators. They change their policies a lot of times. Everything is always changing, what you can and cannot say. And especially if you are trying to monetize things, there are just certain things that they really don't want to monetize that advertisers stay away from, yada. So I kind of have to be careful. And so I decided, with the vaping reviews, it's kind of tricky because it falls under a category that they don't like. And it's kind of tricky. You can get half monetization or none at all. Like, I can leave that box unchecked and just decide that I'm just not going to attempt to monetize it because they're either going to tell me no, or it's not going to be suitable, or it'll have a yellow caution sign on it, which means it might be suitable for some advertisers, but they're going to shy away from it. Well, when you're monetized with YouTube, they don't like that. If you do too many inappropriate videos that are always going to get a yellow flag, that it might be suitable, might not be suitable for advertisement, they're going to be looking at you to demonetize you. Like, if that's all your videos ever are. So I have to be careful. So I decided what I would do is I'm going to go ahead and do this review for y'all anyway. Even if it's the last one I do for a while. I decided I would go ahead and do it because I was doing those videos. People were liking them. People were, whatever, and some things have changed on my vaping journey. I know. So let's get to it, right? Shut the chit chat. So anyway, but yeah, if worse comes to worse, I'll just leave the monetization box unchecked. That way I can give you guys some, updates on how that's been going without having to worry about it. So the last time I did a vape review, I believe I was still on Escobar and I was changing over to Juice Head. I was kind of in transition, experimenting with, well, is this one good? Is that one good? How does it hit? How does it taste? And for a long time, I really was stuck on those Escobars. That is the first vape I really got hooked on that really got me away from the smoking. Okay. Now, to jog your memory, or if you're new here, just to let you know, I was a 30-year smoker. I started smoking at 12 years of age, and I was a little after 40 when I started vaping. So it was something that was really going to help me and save my life. Now, I will say this video is not for people under legal smoking age. Not at all. This is for educational purposes, entertainment purposes. It's not for people under legal smoking age. I do not recommend vaping at all to anyone, especially someone underage. I don't recommend it as a healthy alternative by any means. If you've never smoked in your life, I would not suggest vaping. I would not suggest it to anyone. There's no point in it. Don't get it started. That's just how I feel about it. It's not cool. It's not colorful. Yada, yada, yada. And they're trying to take away our vaping rights. They would really love to do that. They would really love to shut a lot of stuff down simply because they're colorful, they're flavorful, and children are attracted to them. Okay, well, I get it, but this is helping a lot of people like myself to get off the cigarettes. It is considered a smoking cessation product to me. It is not just some fun product to go, yay, let me try this. To me, it is primarily for smokers who want to stop smoking and who want to stop coughing and choking and wheezing and short of breath. And I am not saying these are healthy for you, but I'm saying that I've been told by medical doctors that they are at least 95% better than smoking a real cigarette. I'm not saying they're healthy at all, and we may get the years down the road. They're still doing research on vaping, and it may suck for us. I don't know. I'm still doing research myself. All right. So, y'all want to know which vape I am on now. God, I didn't even think about that. Which vape flavor I was going to review. I'm just going to do, this is just a general, not one in particular. This is just a general rundown of the vapes I have tried since my last video, which has been a while, and since gravitating away from Escobar. Escobars were fire. They are still fire, but I don't do those anymore. It's been well over a year since I've done an Escobar. Okay, so currently I've got a few to tell you about, and currently I am on a vape called Escobar. See y'all? Elf Bar. They're also close in name. Currently, for about the last solid year, I'm on these, y'all. Like, this is my thing. This is satisfying to me, and it does the trick. I have gravitated over to Elf Bar, okay? And today, the one I'm actually using right now, but I have a bunch of boxes and different ones to show you, flavors to review for you quickly. The one I have today is called Frozen Creamsicle. And it's not bad. Not bad at all. I wouldn't say it's my favorite flavor, but the Elf Bar is really satisfying to me. That's why I've been on it so long. So I will show you the box that they come in. This is not the box for this one, but this is what the box looks like. Y'all are probably familiar with these. And then you open it. It's going to come in a wrapper like this. Rip that sucker open. It's also going to have... Oh, let me see if I saved one. I used to save them. It's also going to have... Oh, there it is. Where'd it go? Come back here. A little rubber stopper in the top, just like so. Pull that rubber stopper out. It's also going to have a strip across the bottom. Usually I save those so I can show y'all. Here it is. It's going to have a rubber stopper in the top. It's going to have a sticker across the bottom. Most of this stuff you can figure out. You just rip that off. Pop that rubber top out. My dog loves to play with those little rubber balls, those little rubber pieces out of the top. Pop those two out, and then you test your vape. I always do before I leave the store. Nice. So that is the Escobar. That's what the packaging looks like. That's what it should look like when you buy it. I always open them in the store to check them for any leaks and to make sure they work before I leave. These Elf Bars are rechargeable. They have a C-type charger port. And so here's the deal why I love them so much. Not only are they satisfying to me, they have a nice satisfying throat hit. Many different flavors. I'm going to show you some of my favorite different flavors in a second. They have a nice throat hit, satisfying. That's a plus for me. That is a must for me. But they also are affordable. Depending on where you buy this Elf Bar. Now, you go to a convenience store, you may pay close to $30. They can jack the prices up however they wish. I've been to gas stations before that charged me $25, $26 and some tax for these. No. But if you find the right store, my local tobacco store, I believe it's called Smoker's Cave. 18 and some change. So I can walk out of there for a solid $20 bill, basically, with the tax included. A little over 20 and some change. And this Elf Bar lasts me at least 5 to 6 days, okay? Sometimes maybe 7. And then up. Now, that is saying until it starts losing its flavor. That's not it going dead completely. It doesn't go dead all the way. These Elf Bars, what they will do is they will start tasting burnt. After about, for me, 5 to 6 days, it will start to lose flavor. And the more I hit it, it's going to start tasting burnt to the point where you can't hit it anymore. Don't inhale that stuff. I wouldn't. And so that's how it goes for me, y'all. So for a $20 bill, for me, 5 to 6 solid days of puffing is a good deal. I am really saving massive amounts of money compared to when I was smoking. Oh my God, I can't even fathom. So that's what's been going on with me, you guys. I've been on the Elf Bar, solid now. I do different flavors. It is C-type rechargeable. Just keep recharging that sucker for almost a week. And there you go. You don't have to worry about buying cigarettes. You don't have to worry about smelling like smoke. You don't have to worry about all that coughing and whatever. All right. So, now I will say this. These, I've noticed the difference. I want to tell y'all this. For me personally. When I first started vaping, I was buying different ones and trying them. And I had to start noticing this, that some vapes, disposable vapes boxes say salt nick. Salt nick. And I'd be wondering, what is that? And why do some boxes not say that? Why do some of them just say, this one says 50 milligrams of nicotine. It says it plain just like that. 50 milligrams of nicotine. Vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, synthetic nicotine, natural and artificial flavors. Ooh, synthetic nicotine. Ooh, now I will say this. For me personally, the nicotine in these disposable vapes is powerful. And the research is interesting to me. And I think it's in everybody's best interest to always do research on any product that you're putting into your body or going to use, okay? Do your own research. Now, it's been a while since I've researched or watched a documentary on these vapes. But I do know the nicotine in this stuff is powerful. And it is addictive, okay? But if you're already addicted to nicotine, well, you know. But I will say this. In my research, I did find that there is a difference in salt nicotine and freebase nicotine. They don't call it freebase nicotine on this box, but that's what this is. If your vape just says 50 milligrams of nicotine, that's all it says, then it's not salt nic. If your vape says yada 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 5% salt nic, then it's a different type of nicotine, okay? I did at least research that much because I was buying the ones that said salt nic. In fact, I probably have a box here, and I didn't like them. I didn't like them. Very unsatisfactory hit. Very light in the throat. Some people like that. Some people like that. They're used to a light cigarette. They don't want the throat hit knocking them down. I'm sorry, but in order for me not to crave a cigarette and go back and get cigarettes, then I'm going to need a nice, strong throat hit to keep me satisfied so that I will not even think about a cigarette. And that's another thing. These have been wonderful ever since my vaping journey started, back with the Escobars and trying a few other ones, and now the Elf Bar. I have not returned to smoking cigarettes. It has been over 2 years now, probably going on 3, that I first started that. And yeah, I gradually quit smoking. It wasn't overnight, but it was pretty quick after I got on vapes. Because if you stick to it, you find yourself craving your vape way more than you crave those nasty cigarettes. And nowadays, I won't lie, every now and then somebody will come around and I'll be like, hey, let me get a Newport. I used to smoke some strong menthol cigarettes, and I would be chain smoking. I was smoking a lot, and I would be spending that money and couldn't afford to do that, and stanking and all that. Every once in a while, I will, smoke a smoke with somebody because I'm not addicted to those anymore because of this, right? And I'll get about 2 or 3 puffs through it. That one puff, maybe the second one, tastes pretty good, like it used to back in the day. It's nice. And then by the 3rd or 4th puff, I'm like, ugh, ooh, I can't even finish this nasty thing. It tastes burnt. It's burning my mouth. It's nasty. Tastes like smoke. It's like inhaling a chimney. That's the thing, y'all. I'm not kidding you. After you get on to a nice vape that is satisfying long enough, you will never desire to go back to cigarettes at all. So I haven't had a problem with that. And that's all my videos are for, you guys. Not to encourage anyone underage or anything like that, or not to encourage people of age to vape. But I'm talking to my ex-smokers, my people that have struggled for years since they were young with smoking and wanting to stop it, or, wanting to do something a bit better. Even if it is not the healthiest replacement, it is better than doing the actual deed. These are mainly what my videos are for, you guys, okay? People who know what it's like to be a lifelong smoker, people who know how hard it is to quit, and people who are looking for something that will really do the trick so that they can go on. And so that's why I'm telling y'all about this. I didn't stop smoking cigarettes overnight. The obsession didn't stop overnight. I would take my vape along in the car with me and leave those cigarettes at home when I first started trying to make the transition. All I would obsess over all day long is when I'm going to get home and smoke cigarettes. Even though I had these, I didn't have this Elf bar. I had some Ragley vapes when I first started. Didn't even have Escobar yet. And so that's probably why the obsession was still there. That went on for several months. I graduated over to Escobar, and it went from there. Slowly but surely, the obsession with cigarettes went away because I had found something satisfactory to replace that. And I never thought about them that much anymore. So, all right. I've told you pretty much everything about the Elf bar and what to look for, what it's going to look like, what the packaging should look like. Let's get back around to the salt nicotine versus freebase nicotine. I would like to do more research and possibly make a whole educational video about that. And I don't think, as long as it's educational, that YouTube will have a problem with that. So I'm going to try to do that for you guys, okay? Do some more research and get up an entire video just devoted to what is this nicotine? Why is it different? The difference between salt nicotine and freebase nicotine, and what the different things are. I think that would be interesting, okay? So what I did find out, just in short, before we move on to some different flavors of Elf bar and why they are changing the Elf bar name, but it is still Elf bar. We'll talk about that before we go. What I did find out about freebase nicotine versus salt nicotine, like I said, if your box just says nicotine, if your box just says 50 milligrams nicotine, that is likely freebase nicotine. If your box says 50 milligrams salt nicotine or whatever, that's going to be a different deal. It really is different. There is a difference. Okay. The main thing I found out about the difference between the two is that freebase nicotine, like what is in here, takes longer to absorb into your bloodstream and satisfy you. Freebase nicotine does have a harsher throat hit. That is why a lot of people don't like it. For an ex-smoker like me, that's why I like it. That's why I gotta have it. Because it has a harsher throat hit, a stronger throat hit. But since it's not going to absorb into my bloodstream with the first few puffs, I do have to hit on this 5, 6, 7 times until I'm satisfied. Almost like the time it would take to smoke a real cigarette. That is freebase nicotine. Harsher throat hit, takes longer to get into your bloodstream. You have to hit on it more until it satisfies you. Okay, that is what I found in my research. Again, double check me, do your own research. Now, salt nicotine, how that is different and why a lot of people do like it, especially a lot of younger people who haven't smoked for years. Okay, it is going to have a smooth throat hit. Very light in the throat, almost like you're hitting a mist or a light vapor. Very light in the throat, but it is going to quickly absorb after the first puff or two into your bloodstream, and you're going to feel it, and you're going to feel satisfied. That is the difference. Light in the throat, salt nicotine, light throat hit, quick in the bloodstream. Okay? Cool, I'm good. freebase nicotine, harsh throat hit, feeling like you're having a cigarette there, puffing on it a few more times to get satisfied. All right. Hopefully that is some valuable knowledge to you guys, or something that you can take and go, hey, I would like to research that. That's interesting to me if you're vaping right now and you want to know more about these things. But that is what I stumbled across during my research, and I found it very interesting, and it made sense to me as to why every time I buy a Salt Nic vape, I don't like it. And, you know, it all added up. I just don't like it, like throat hit, and to why I have to hit on these harder, but they are more satisfying to me. Okay. So that's that, y'all. Let me grab my cup of coffee, and then we will quickly talk about the flavors of Elf Bar that I really like and that I have tried that are wonderful to me. I wouldn't know what to do without these vapes, y'all. I would never want to go back to smoking, and I wouldn't have the money. And when I said they last me 5 or 6 days, y'all, I put this vape through hell. I'm not proud of it, but that's what a bad smoker I was. I hardly ever put this vape down during the day. Unless I'm working, busy doing something, I have to remind myself, get that damn thing off of you, get it out of your pocket, forget about it a while. I sleep with this vape. And everybody I know that vapes does that. My sons are in their late 20s, mid-20s. They sleep with their vape. It's always right there beside them. So is mine. I don't know if the nicotine in these is more addictive than the nicotine in the tobacco product, cigarette. All I can say is, as an ex-smoker, this sucker is on me at all times. At all times. I'm reading, whatever I'm doing, I'm hitting this vape every few minutes throughout the day. I'm not proud of that. I don't think that can be good for a person. So at this point, I'm in a process. I have graduated away from the tar, the combustion, all the thousands of chemicals in the tobacco cigarettes. I have graduated away from that onto a better situation, not a healthier situation, but better than that. And now what I'm having to do is cut myself back on even the vape. Okay, I'm not going to quit, but I'm getting to where I practice leaving the vape out of my reach and getting myself focused on other things like exercise, work, projects, yada. Because it can't be good to sit up and hit anything like that every 10, 15 minutes all throughout the day. It just can't. So that's something to watch for. You will want to do that, especially if you're an ex-smoker, because, well, you were firing up a cigarette one after another all day. And I was terrible. I was going through, by the end of the day, I would have to go get a second pack of cigarettes. So, anyway, that's just something to keep in mind. Also, when I said 5 or 6 days for these, here's the deal, y'all. When I get a new one, this will lose its flavor in 5 or 6 days. And I'll start wanting to go get a new one right when it loses its flavor. I don't want to keep sucking on it 2 or 3, 4 or 5 more days until it finally burns. But there is a window there. If you're broke and you're poor and you can't afford another vape right then, I always throw these in a drawer for a backup. And I'm not saying keep them for months and months and do that and then go back in a few months and inhale that shit. I don't think that could possibly be good. But I will say hanging on to these for a couple weeks or maybe up to a month in a backup drawer, they don't go all the way out, and sometimes the flavor comes back, and they're good for a while. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have found that to happen. When the flavor starts going out, I'll go get a new one, and I'm not talking about when it's completely burnt. I'm talking about right when the flavor starts going out a little bit. I'll throw that shit in a drawer, go get me another one, and then run out, or say something happens, and, you know, my new vape is running out. I'm kind of in the in-between before I get paid, whatever. I'll pull that other one out of the drawer and come to find out, since it sat up a week or so, it has rejuvenated itself and the flavors come back just a little bit, and it'll still hit for me 3 or 4 days sometimes after it loses its flavor before it gets really burnt, okay? So just, that's something to keep in mind too. I wouldn't hang on to them too long. That can't possibly be good for your lungs. I wouldn't keep going after it tastes burnt. That's the end for me. That's when they hit the trash barrel. But throwing them out instantly when they lose their flavor is not always the best, because to get your money worth, stick it up in a drawer, check on it a week later, and it still has a couple days in it sometimes, for real, okay? The flavor comes back a little bit. All right, guys, I want to cut this before it hits the 30-minute mark. But I just want to make sure I got this done for you guys. Talk a little bit more about what I have experienced in my vaping journey since quitting smoking, and which ones I've been doing. Real quickly, let's touch on why they're changing Elf Bar's name, okay, to BC 5000. That was really confusing to me. I guess it's the same company. I had a woman tell me that they were going to pull all Elf Bars from the shelf and quit making them. That wasn't true, but I have seen a name change. I have seen this Elf Bar name disappear, and a lot of the boxes that I get nowadays only say BC 5000. Gotten boxes recently, right, this one. It only says BC 5000. See that? But it's still Elf Bar. It's still exactly like it. Now, I don't know why they've had to do that name change. Oh, there's also the Elf Bar and Pod King. That's one that I also tried. I didn't like it. Because it was too light for me. I think 5% nicotine. It didn't say salt nic, but I just didn't care for that one. Yeah, it does. It's hidden. They hide it. See, it doesn't say it on the box, but look carefully, okay? If you look in the fine print here, right up here, it's blurry. Always read the box, because it does actually say salt nicotine on this box. That is why I always ask the cashier, can I please inspect the box if I don't know what I'm getting? So be aware of that, you guys. I told you the difference in freebase nicotine and salt. This is misleading. It says 5% nicotine, but it doesn't inform you that it's salt nicotine. Flip the box over, and it does list salt nicotine up here. So, all right, that's something to watch out for, you guys. Okay, there are other vapes I've tried, but I'll do that another time. Let's talk about some Elf Bar flavors that I'm fond of before I go, okay? I just want to make sure I got this up and put a few things of value in the video for you guys, so you could do your own research. And, all right, so one of my top favorite flavors is going to be this lemon mint. Oh, yes. It is smooth. It is not too minty, not too lemony, either one. It's just both. It's nice. That is one of my top go-to flavors. I really love the lemon mint. Another one of my top go-to favorites is going to be this honeydew pineapple orange. Anything to do with honeydew, you can count me in. So that's my second top favorite. Lemon mint, honeydew pineapple orange. If you're a honeydew fan, that's for you. Kinds of flavors over here that I've tried, but I'm just giving y'all my top 2 or 3. There's also a pineapple coconut that I am equally fond of. Love me some coconut. And it's really good, okay? As far as these other flavors, I got a zillion. They'll do on a hard day when they don't have my favorite flavors. But those are my top 3 favorites, you guys. Flavor-wise, lemon mint, honeydew pineapple orange, and the pineapple coconut. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and clip this. I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you've learned something or gotten something of value. Please do your own research, but that's what's going on with me vape-wise. And I'll try to get another video up discussing deeper into the differences between salt nicotine, freebase nicotine, and what's really going on. Okay? All right, you guys, hit like and subscribe if you're new, and leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought about it, and everybody take care till next time.